We've been talking about development, but we still have a ways to go. Let's take right back about 15 minutes and make our way to 5. Welcome back to Pocketbook Pediatrics. I'm Dr. Ishlan Brown, and as usual, I'm always so happy to have you here with me today. So last time we were talking about development, and we left off at about a year. We're going to pick right back up at 15 months and walk straight through to 5 years. So you have a 15-month-old, they're getting stronger, they're getting braver, they're able to crawl up the stairs without your help. And they've also learned a new trick. They're able to walk backwards, and I'm sure that's very fun for them. That pencil grasp that they've been maturing is going to be put to good use now, because they can pick up that pencil or that crayon and they can start to make marks on a paper if you show them how. And if you have blocks at home and you show them, they can make a small tower of about 2 blocks. They're also going to be able to use about 5 words consistently in addition to their mama and dada. And they're going to be able to understand those commands you're giving before without having to point and show them what you mean. They're also able to help themselves a bit more, and they're able to use a cup and a spoon to feed themselves. Now at 18 months, they're really moving, they're able to run. And that game that they were playing before of throwing things on the floor, well, they've really mastered that now, because not only can they throw them, but they can throw them without falling over. So they are really getting very steady. They start to scribble by themselves. So they will be scribbling everywhere, on the paper, on the wall, on the floor. We just have to keep a good eye on them and teach them where it is appropriate to write. They're going to also participate more in reading with you. Not only will they be pointing at the pages, but they can begin to turn the pages, and they'll turn about 2 to 3 at a time at this point. But if you continue to go with them, they'll soon get to turning 1 page at a time. They can also know about 10 words at this point, in addition to that mama and dada that they knew before, and they can start to show you some body parts. So they know about 5 now, and it will grow and grow as you continue to teach them more. They start to be little helpers at home more than they were before, and they copy you. So if you're cooking, they want to be cooking alongside you. If you're sweeping up, they want to be sweeping up too. So it's just to make it appropriate, fun, and safe for them. And they're very happy to play alongside other children. So they may not know how to initiate a game and share and play with another baby, but if they're in the same space, they're happy to play alongside them. So we've gotten to our terrific twos, and they can go up and down those stairs now walking, but they're not going to do it in the same way that we do. So when we go up and down the stairs, we alternate our feet. So 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4, they're going to match their feet. So 1 step match, 2 step match, 3 step match, and so on, until they learn how to alternate those feet over the next couple of years. They're going to continue to scribble, and now that scribble is going to look like lots and lots of continuous circles, but they can also draw a line if we show them how to. Those book pages that they were turning 2 and 3 at a time are now going to become 1, so they can easily turn 1 page at a time. They can begin to use pronouns I, me, and you, and they're going to start in their language to string words together. So we're going to get phrases. So mama juice, I want. It doesn't always make sense, but they're going to get there the more we continue to read to them and talk to them. They can understand a 2-step command now as well, without you needing to point and show them. So Johnny, pick up your book, sit at the table, and he'll be able to do it. So we move on to year 3 now, another precious year, and now they can alternate those feet going upstairs but not down the stairs as yet. They still need some help there, and they're able to pedal a tricycle with some help. The scribbling is now going to become not just scribbles and not just a straight line, but they can draw a circle if you show them how. They can completely undress themselves, but they need some help with dressing themselves at this point. And they know in their language about 250 words, and those 2-word phrases are now going to become 3-word sentences. So baby want juice, dada baby please. Again, it doesn't always make sense, but we're getting there. In terms of socially, they're getting along well with other kids now, and they're able to share, they're able to take turns, and very importantly, they're able to state their full name, their age, and their sex. And it's very important as well for emergency reasons. So in case they ever need to state who they are to a responsible adult, if ever they get lost, unfortunately. We're gonna hop on to 4 now, and that's exactly what they can do. They can hop and they skip, and they can alternate those feet going up and down the stairs. So they're getting very strong there. They can catch a ball if you throw it to them. They can draw a square, and I like that because 4 and square go together. That's very easy to remember. And if you show them how, they can completely dress and undress themselves. So we need to be very involved in showing them how to do many things. Now their vocabulary is very wide. They're beginning to speak very well, and 75% of the time they should be able to be understood by adults who interact with them. They're beginning to know their colors, they can sing songs from their memory, they can tell you a story, and they are playing well in a group of children now. So they're getting along very well. They begin to ask a lot of questions as well, so we need to be very ready with our answers. We're going to skip on to 5, and that's our final stop for today. And now they're real masters of their motor skills. They can go up and down those stairs, and additionally they can now jump over low objects, so a low fence or a low wall in the home. No problems for them at all. They can also copy a triangle if you show them how, and they can do their shoelaces as well. They are also able to use a safe knife like a butter knife to spread bread at home. So those fine motor skills are really getting on point with them. And aside from in the kitchen, there can be little helpers outside of the kitchen as well. So they can do small tasks like folding towels or putting away their own toys, and really becoming a part of the family help or the family economy, participating in helping with the family, which is good. But their vocabulary and their language, they're very well understood. They're using full sentences now, and they should be understood 100% of the time, even by strangers who interact with them. They can print their name, and they're also beginning to ask other questions. What do words mean? How, what, why, when? They're asking a lot of questions. They can also socially participate in sports now because they can understand the rules of a game, so they can play competitively. So now we're at 5, and we're stopping here, and definitely there's more development to go, but they can definitely do a lot more. But we do need to talk about the red flags that we need to look for up to this age. Let's talk about some of the big ones. So for 0 to 4 months, if by 3 months your baby is not lifting their head at all, if by 4 months when you put their feet on a firm surface, they don't seem to be bearing any of their body weight, those are definitely reasons to talk to your pediatrician. Bring that attention there. If also by 3 months your baby just doesn't seem to be looking at you, doesn't seem to be able to fix on an object and look at it like we spoke about before, doesn't seem to smile with you, interact with you in that way, it would make us be concerned for their vision, and we definitely would have to have their eyes assessed. And also if they're not startling or alerting to that sound, if there's a loud noise in the house, they're not making any baby noises at all by the time they're 4 months, that's a reason for us to assess their hearing and be concerned that something might be going wrong there. By 6 months, if your baby is very stiff or very floppy, those are reasons for concern. If they can't roll over, they can't sit up without assistance, then those are reasons for concern as well. And if they just seem to dislike cuddling, they're not smiling with you as the person that they're familiar with, their mom, their dad, their caregiver, those are reasons for us to monitor their social development, particularly as we move forward. Between 1 and 2, if your baby can't stand with support at 1 year old, if they're not saying any words at all at 1 year old, bring that to the attention of your pediatrician. If they're not walking by 18 months, that also is a very big red flag to be brought to the attention of your pediatrician. And socially, if they're not interacting with you, they're not pointing at things to show you things, that again, they're not smiling, laughing with you, they don't seem to understand when you're happy, those are reasons to talk to your pediatrician. Between 2 and 3, if your baby has words but has less than 15 words, if they can't seem to understand simple instruction, if they don't show empathy with you again, they don't know when you're happy, they don't know when you're sad, they don't watch it at home, bring those to the attention of your doctor. And it's important because in these years as well, they tend to have a visit annually, not like when they were younger and they had visits every several months for their vaccines or just a well visit. Now they tend to have a visit once a year. So if you see these things happening, definitely reach out and have your baby assessed by your doctor. And from 3 onwards as well, same things. If they're not interacting well with you, so not making good eye contact with you, not interacting well with other children, they don't seem to play with them, they prefer to be by themselves, they don't play with toys in the same way that you'd expect them to play with toys, not running the car on the ground, but playing with parts of the toy. Those are social concerns that need to be assessed. If they have any difficulties moving up and down, getting up and down those stairs, or manipulating small objects in the hand, their vocabulary is not increasing, they're not understanding those instructions that are simple, talk to your pediatrician. We're wrapping things up here today on development, and I know you're going to say, well, Dr. Brown, what about potty training, and what about temper tantrums, and what about sleeping through the night? What are these things supposed to happen? And those are all very good questions. But we could sit here and talk about development for so many more hours to discuss all of these things. So they'll be for another time on Pocket with Pediatrics. So what I want you to remember as we close off today, and as you move through your journey with your baby, remember we said it's this baby's unique journey. And I want you to remember that it's a process. What looks like a mess to us really is a learning process for them. And we just have to take it in stride, and we just help them to develop in the best way that they can. So thank you again for joining me here today. It's always a pleasure to have you, and I look forward to seeing you the next time on Pocket with Pediatrics. God bless.